We'd like to start out by thanking our valuable sponsors. Sense of Satisfaction by Cricket is the place for all your fragrance needs. Plus, she's got products to heal what ails your skin and your hair. Shop at sensebycricket.com. Special thanks to our valued sponsor, John Travis, a financial coach and certified Kingdom advisor with Richard Young Associates, a registered investment advisor. Thanks goes to Anna Patterson, my sister in the Lord who faithfully gives to this ministry every month. And to our newest sponsor, LaToya Gerard of Preach the Word Worldwide Network. She is a valued sponsor and a major encourager regarding this ministry. We need and would love to have you as a sponsor. Absolutely no gift is too small. Please note the info regarding giving throughout and at the end of the show, and help us spread these testimonies around the world. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the viewpoints of our sponsors. It's time to hear the story, make the connection, learn the lesson, and gain the wisdom. Are you ready? Let's get charged and be changed. The Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Conversations on grace, healing, and deliverance. This is Marcy Bush. Come on, let's journey together.
And so I think it still was another way out to hide as well. So yeah.
Now, which was a way to hide? Serving or being just coming and going?
Coming and going was the mindset I wanted. I think for me, like I said, from just the way that we were raised, all of us, I can never get away from serving.
Right.
It's just, but I think it's easier for me to hide in serving.
Never thought about it. Is there a thin line between serving and running? And I say that because some people may think running is like running completely away, say how you did from Aiken. But I believe you can also run to a post or to a position to be so consumed in that that you don't face. So it's really like what's the word? Avoidance. Avoidance. And so the running and the avoidance go hand in hand. And so the running and the serving, you know, there's a thin line.
There's a very thin line.
And I guess in that line, the way you test it would be what motivates you. What's the motivating factor? What's your reason why you're doing it? And it takes to heal and be delivered from stuff. It takes being honest with you.
Yeah, and I did, but the thing is, like, I didn't know what I was dealing with. Like I said, I wasn't someone who went through. This is the thing, I went through a lot in my childhood, but like I said, I felt like I never battled depression. I didn't know what it looked like.
Right.
And so even when I came back, there were a lot of moments where I felt alone. I felt unwanted, that kind of stuff. But I never thought it was like a depression or I never thought it was a depression. And so yeah, I do agree that there is a very thin line, and like I said, with us not being able to get away from being servants, because that's what we were raised in. Yeah, I think I hide a lot in that. If I could just get to a place where I'm doing something,
right.
Even now, it's uncomfortable for me to just take a day because I'm like, I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to accomplish something to be able to at least pat myself on the back type deal. So
Yep. And you can get, for me, and I know I said we're a lot alike in way, for me, there was a time, and then I have to be careful of the pendulum swing, but there was a time when you feel, if you're serving, you feel needed, and you feel wanted, because there's those voices talking, like nobody, but when I do this and I do it right, oh, I know I'm gonna, because and you have to be careful again about the motivation. Is it because I want somebody to see that I'm putting my best forth, or is it because that's what I want to do?
Yeah, because when I came back, like I said, I had been gone, like as far as like not coming home, 5 years. So not just not being gone, like I wasn't talking to anybody. So a lot of the friends and the family that was here that I was super close to, I assumed that they felt like, oh, well, I guess she don't want to talk to us anymore. Them not understanding and me not communicating that I'm really just going through. And so when I got back home, there was nobody to be found. Like, so I'm alone. And then I'm with this man who I don't even know anymore. And I'm,
Right, because by that time, your mom's been passed away. He's dating. So I'm sure that presents so many different things. Just like you said, it's somebody that you don't know. Y'all are in different phases. You're in different phase because now you're a real woman.
Yeah.
And he's a widower.
Yeah.
And it's been some years. He's not an old man. So it's just so many, the dynamic has changed.
100%. And like I said, my siblings aren't there. My little brother isn't there anymore. He's in college. My sister's at school, and my brother has a whole family now. And so, I to be honest, me and him didn't have a lot of conversations. Not until... And see, the thing is, like, when we talk about guards, my guard was so high for him because there was so many instances where I had, okay, let's try again. You hurt me. Let's try again. Okay, you're hurting me. Let's try again. You hurt me again. It was just every single time I'm like, let's do this again. You hurt me. And I know that my story for my dad is totally different than my siblings. We had the conversation. And so the relationship that we had with him was totally different than with me. So I won't say that I tried a little bit harder. It wasn't that. It's just I really wanted him to be my daddy.
And I think what happens too, and maybe you did express it, but I think we're coming around more the more we learn about Christ and learn about who we are. I think we change. But in the beginning, like you're saying, he does something, it hurts you. Sometimes people don't, just like I said with you, when you didn't communicate as much with the people at home, didn't necessarily have to do with the people at home and everything to do with where you were. Well, then with your dad, things were triggering, but I don't know that you always addressed it, or sometimes we address it in anger. It's just like, noted. Won't let you there again. And I think a lack of communication, even when you talked about coming back home and like nobody's there, one of the things I know too is that we have to be careful how we approach somebody. If you're glad to see them, be like, oh my gosh, I am so glad to see you now. That backs people away, and you don't know. You think it may be a little cute thing for the moment, like, oh, you didn't just. No, those are words, our actions are seeds, and they go deep. They go deep. And so while you were playing, I'm hurt. Because it took a lot for me to walk in here. And it took a lot for me to show up.
That's definitely true. That's I don't know if I've already said that, but that's definitely one of the things that, like, I encourage. You have to watch what you say to people, especially, like I said, when they're grieving, when that person is passed. Watch the things that you say, because it's not. It rings. It rings, and there was a lot of, so you back home now. You finally decided to come home. This is, and those rung in my head so loud. And it wasn't because I hadn't been home, and I know those people, they were joking, but it was like, you don't already know that I've been battling the fact that I wasn't there at the moment that I needed to be there. And so with you not knowing that, what you just said just messed me up even more, and it set me back. And just understanding, and one of the biggest things is understanding that it's not even so much that you put that the day that you put that person in the ground, it's the time after. You know, my mom died in 2009. It's 23. Yeah. It's still ringing loud, and I'm still day by day having to, like I said earlier, processing these moments that I won't have her, you know? And so many people, you know, if you need anything, you just let me know. You know, I got your back. I haven't seen half of those people, just being honest, you know? And so I always tell people, just don't make broken promises, and just watch the things that you say and do during those moments that this person, because they're so wide open.
You know what I saw when, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
When you were talking a few minutes ago, and you're like, you're just wide open to, as you were talking, is crazy. And I know there are people who are cremated and whatever, but as you were talking about the grieving process and about how wide open you are, I literally saw an open grave. And so it's just like, as wide open as that ground is to receive that casket, the people who are the ones that are most affected, those intimate loved ones and friends, they are wide open. And just like the ground is receiving that casket, and the seeds that people throw out while you're wide open, they go deep. Because we're talking 6 feet under. They go deep, and they're planted. And even when you try to get over it, and even when you think you're moving on, one wrong comment is watered. It lets you know it's still in the ground. It's still okay. It feels like something is growing, and we don't. What was that? We don't realize the power of our words. They really are seeds, and it may be the same person that the words they say. They may come back and water it and not know, or somebody else comes along, and now what I thought, this water is validating something that's not even true, but it just compounds. And especially, I know words are powerful with anyone, but people who are speakers and teachers and like influential people, it just feels like those seeds are so much more potent.
They are.
And like, how do you dig it up? How do you, and we've learned how. You have to combat it. You have to go past it. You have to dig it up and say, I am not that. Or no, you do not. Even if it's in your own setting, you don't always have to be confrontational, but like, no one gets to speak to me that way. That is not who I am. I know why. And it takes talk. You got to open your mouth. If somebody else open their mouth, you better open yours. And you don't have to talk to them necessarily. There may come a time when you do need to. But you got to put the right thing in the atmosphere. You got to dig up that seed that they try. Because if not, that joker will be a tree. A seed never comes up one seed. It's always a harvest after it. It's fruit after it. And that fruit keeps coming. If we don't dig it up. Like you said, during grieving, and again, there's no time limit for grief. You know, we transition, but people can be going through everyday life and grinning, but you don't know what they're going through at home. Some people's the fact that they're still grieving is more readily seen than others. But I believe the way grief is, it's just like with life. You could be good 3 months and one day see a commercial, or one day hear a song, or one day just wake up like, what's going on? And so I think it's important too that we're able to, again, back to communication, express to our loved ones, those that are closest to us. Look, I don't even know what this is about, but I just need to know somebody got my back. Something's going on with me.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about my mom, or I keep thinking about,
Yeah.
And so we need to make sure that we open our mouths more.
And it don't take a lot, because I remember when I was in Tennessee, and I remember since I've been back that there was a lot of times that I would just pick up the phone and all I would say to you is, I thought about my mama today, and would cry and be fine, like not be fine, but like be able to just cry it out. Even if you just set the phone down, it was just to let you know, okay, today's a rough day. And that was it. It wasn't, it doesn't have to be this explanation to the right person.
Right.
It doesn't have to be this long explanation. It can just be, I just need you to be here for a second. You don't even physically have to be here. I just want to let you know today's rough. And I need this moment. Okay. I'm okay now. Yeah. I can go another couple of steps.
Sometimes you just need to hear, I got you.
Right. Exactly.
I got you. And it is that process. So you're back serving, you're moving, you're doing things, but you still have that kind of guard, like, okay, still got to watch myself.
Yeah.
Still got to. And then, so you and your dad were together. Did your brother come back and move in?
So,
I'm trying to remember seriously.
I'm trying to think of where to start. So yeah, Chad did end up wanting to move back. We were staying in like a 2-bedroom townhome, so it was gonna be kind of hard for Chad to stay there. Well, come to find out, my dad lost the place. So, in Chad coming back and my daddy losing the place that we were in, we were having to find somewhere to stay. So pretty much for about 3 months, we didn't have anywhere to go. And that was another one. I let you in and you hurt me,
right.
And there's so many details of that, but it's just like, I didn't understand how we got to that place. I'm giving you money, like, to help pay rent and still. So it hurt even worse, because I'm like, so what were you doing with my finances?
Right.
So now I'm like, I got to find something for me and my baby brother. Like, I have to make sure he's okay. So he actually ended up moving with my oldest brother for a couple of months, and I had moved back and actually got really close to an old friend. So we became like best friends. So she offered for me to stay with her for a couple of months until we found a place. And me and my brother ended up finding a place. And to just be honest, I didn't think about my dad. Because that was it. I couldn't take anymore. When you're a little girl, all you want is your daddy to just love. It don't even take a lot. I just need you to love on me and do right by me, and you keep hurting me, and you not even loving on me. So and I'm at some point it starts feeling like some form of manipulation, like So I found a place for me and my brother to stay, and
I do want to say this. I do want to inject this, because I never want anybody to think like this is no bash. This is your life.
Yeah,
and this is how you felt.
Yeah.
We don't know what he was going through.
Right.
We don't know like how he felt, if he could see what it was doing, if he couldn't, if he felt out of control but didn't ask for help. So we don't know his side.
Right.
But I'm sitting across from you.
Right.
This is your journey. Yeah. This is how it made you feel.
Right. Because it's a lot of misunderstandings.
Right.
And a lot of years that people don't understand, not just for me, but for all four of us. And people made and said a lot, not knowing.
Right.
And just be honest, like, I would rather, it's not, like you said, it's not to bash him, because if he was here again, I would still love him.
Yeah.
It was just, you can only take so much from even somebody that you love. So yeah, me and my brother, when we moved in, that began something else. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, this is the first time that me and him Because you got to understand, when I left, he was, so mama passed, he was like 15. So when I left, he was probably like 13 and a half, 14 years old. Mm-hmm. So now I'm close to my 30s.
Right.
He's in his 20s.
Right.
We don't know anything about each other.
Right.
I just know that's my baby brother. Mm-hmm. And not only are we having to learn each other, we're having to learn each other in grief.
Yeah.
So, and I'm finding out like where he is in this thing. Mm-hmm. And I think we stayed together for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and it was going fine. It was going better than I thought. Mm-hmm. And then this moment just hit, and it was an explosion of emotions. Mm-hmm. And I started finding out that he was going through some tough stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize. That's when I realized, when mom passed, we all went 4 different ways. Mm-hmm. I think out of all of us, get my tissue. Out of all of us, I didn't realize how bad I thought I went through. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize how bad it affected him.
Right.
He said something to me one time, and I hope he's okay with me sharing it. As a grown man, why'd y'all leave me? And I didn't see it at the time. I didn't see it as that, you know. Because when he would call me all those years I was gone, he was upbeat. Hey, I've been doing this and this is going on, and not knowing that's him coping.
Right.
I need you.
Right.
And I didn't know. And so I had to start understanding some of what he had been doing and the things I'm fussing at him for. Even down to the cleaning in the house. I was like, I think I said something one time. I was like, you can pick this up to do this, to clean it from under there. And he was like, I didn't know that. And I was like, how you don't know that? Mama taught us that. And and I was like, I had to stop. I was like, you didn't get that part. Like, because there's a gap. I don't know if a lot of people know. There's 2 years between my oldest siblings. There's 3 years between me and my brother. But then there's 6 years, between me and Chad. Mm-hmm. And so
the other thing is too, he was mama's boy. He was a boy, and y'all were gone. And so she was probably handling like a bunch of the inside stuff for sure.
But even when we got a little older, I was like, we would tell mama, like, you don't discipline him like you did us. It was a lot. We was just like, that he's different. Like, you treat him much different than you do us. And so I started noticing that, like, he didn't get a lot of, he was only 15. I got mama until I was 21. My siblings got, mama a little bit longer too. And so he didn't get all of what, he didn't get to going to the nursing homes, cleaning up the yard. Like, he did have to do some yard work and stuff, but like the stuff that, like, he helped Kevin get a house, and like just Jill taking her off to college and all, he didn't get any of that. And so I had to start, I think that was the moment when we had that, it was an argument we had, but after that moment, it was a slight switch for me too. I know Kevin talked about it from his perspective. For me, it was like, okay, I need to give him the stuff that, mama didn't give him. And so for me, I'm your big sister now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm here, and so from there, that's when daddy pops back up again. I don't know, to be honest, I didn't talk to him, so I didn't know what was going on with him anymore. And one day he asked to come stay with us. He said for the night. I talked to Chad. He was out of town at the time, and so Chad was like, I'm fine with it. I said, okay. So I sat my dad, and I had the roughest conversation with my dad. I cried my eyes out to him, and just asking him, you got to tell me what's going on. And to be honest, he didn't have a clue. He couldn't pinpoint it. He couldn't tell me. I think that was the first time where I started seeing like there might be some type of depression or something. And that was the first moment that I truly broke down and was hurt. I held it together while I was talking to him, and then something happened. I asked him, I said, do you have money in your pocket to go eat lunch tomorrow, to get you something to eat so you can take your medicine? And he told me no. And I gave him some money, and my daddy broke down crying. And so that messed me up, because when he did that, it was like, you're supposed to be doing this for me. And I held it together, and I went in my room, and I think I called you, and I just cried, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. And so the next day, and I had told him he could only stay one night, because it had gotten to the place where you enabling somebody all the time. It wasn't that I didn't want to be there, but if I let you stay, you get comfortable and you don't fight to live. Right. You don't fight to get out of this thing. Right. And he called me the next day and asked me if he could stay, and I was like, Dad, I told you you can only do one night. And he hung the phone up in my face. Okay, you hurt me again. So I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. I was so through. And it was just so many other things that happened. And through that, I'm dealing with this, and then
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you've been blessed by today's show, feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to sow into this ministry, become a sponsor, or contact us, you can reach us at 803-221-0169. Or you can email us at the SSBBshow@gmail.com. Let's continue this journey together. We need and would love to have you as a sponsor. Absolutely no gift is too small. Please note the info regarding giving and help us spread these testimonies around the world.